Hi everybody, welcome to BubbleTalk with Burge. Are you ready to get burged? So here I am ready to go with our lessons for today for BubbleTalk with Burge. I have my Essence of Being cards. Yay. We're going to pull a card. And why do I call it BubbleTalk? Remember, BubbleTalk is that subconscious thought that keeps you from getting what you want. It's that little bubble above your head that you see in cartoon characters. So that's their unconscious or their subconscious thought that could keep them from getting what they want in their life. Okay? Because a lot of times we say affirmations or we want to have things in our lives. We're focusing on relationships this month, about having a better relationship with yourself or with others or with your spirit or with God or whatever, the universe, whatever you call that. So these relationships that we have, we may want to have better communication or, happiness or better understanding, those types of things. But maybe the way we speak it or their conscious thought about it is one way, but our subconscious or our unconscious thought is a different way. And so it's not aligned. So that can block what's really happening. Okay, that can block the things that we really want to have in our life, because our subconscious or our unconscious thought, our bubble talk, is definitely running the bus. Okay, so there are 40,000 more subconscious thoughts than conscious thoughts. That's crazy, right? So if that's true, then the subconscious really does run us. So if you have your gas and your brake on at the same time, your gas is your desire, your gas is your conscious thought that you want to have. Your brake is that resistance or the subconscious thought that could be keeping you from what you want. Okay? If that's on at the same time, then what's happening is you're spinning your wheels and you're not going anywhere. But most people, especially in relationships, okay, we let go of our desire. We let go of our gas. We let go of what we want. We settle. We say, this person will do, or this station in life will do, or I'll just do it in another lifetime. And we settle because we feel like we let go of our dreams. It's easier to do that, right? But most of us haven't learned how to let go of resistance, to let go of the belief that we can't have it, which is that subconscious thought or that unconscious thought that we have around relationships or sex or intimacy. Okay? So my power hour that we're going to be doing is on intimacy, is the essence of intimacy that's coming up in April. And our essence of relationship is coming up, which is essenceofbeing.com/EOR, which stands for Essence of Relationships. You can go there and check it out. We're doing a one-day, but also, and that's live, but also it's included in our Conscious Leadership Academy. So all of you conscious leaders out there, we are building that global movement of conscious leaders, empowering others to create a win-win world. So get ready to do that on relationships. And I just did a video, just got through shooting a video about sex and intimacy. So that is part of being able to be vulnerable, okay? Intimacy means into me see. To be able to be vulnerable. My strength lies in my vulnerability, which is counterintuitive for most people. They think that strength is, strength, as opposed to being vulnerable and open. So when you're vulnerable and open, it's definitely a more of a powerful stance to be in, a powerful experience to be in, to be open and vulnerable. And in order to be intimate with someone, with yourself or others, okay, you have to be vulnerable. You have to learn how to surrender a little bit. But many of us are afraid of that. Maybe we're afraid to show who we really are. Maybe we've been hurt before when we've been vulnerable. Okay, so my strength lies in my vulnerability is such a powerful statement that again, if you practice it, it makes sense. When I first started practicing that, it was counterintuitive, but I realized if I open myself up, nothing can touch me. I am totally allowing, okay, exactly what I choose to have in my energy field. Who is that? Alexandra, hi, honey. Hey, from California. So, speaking of strength as my vulnerability, right? That is awesome. That is one way that we can allow ourselves to be intimate. So I just did this video just now, a few minutes ago, for all of our conscious leaders out there about sex and intimacy. So here's the thing that's really interesting to me. How many of you have ever had, hey Alexandra, how many of you have ever had past experiences in relationships that didn't work, right? Just think about that. Well, what happens is, when it's really funny how relationships work, because what happens is you attract people to you, okay, to support you in healing things from the past. And at the same time, we want to avoid the same things from the past, because how many times have you had different relationships and it was same relationship, different face? Same pattern keeps showing up because you're the common denominator, right? So, hi Brad, hi, I'm glad you're here. Speaking of relationships, so what happens is, it's very fascinating to me how this works, because we want to avoid anything from the past. We want to avoid having the same kind of relationship that did not work, and yet at the same time, we attract people to us that have the same patterns, that elicit the same behaviors from that past, so we can clear it and heal it. Okay? So it's simultaneously we're repelled and we're attracted at the same time. I mean, how bizarre is that? So this is what's going on in the subconscious. In other words, everything unlike love comes up for the purpose of healing it. Okay? So when there's a lot of love around, hi Paul from Liberia. So anything that, when there's a lot of love in the air, when there's a lot of love in a relationship, it brings up everything unlike love for the purpose of healing it. So that's what I mean about we attract people to us, okay, that remind us, or maybe we have the same, it has the same pattern or same behavior, okay, that we had before, but we want to avoid it. But what it's doing is we're attracting people just like that so we can heal it. So we have a choice. We have a choice. Do you want to heal the past and move on? And what I mean by healing it is you really have to sometimes look at it right in the face and say, I really didn't like the way that that worked out in my relationship with myself or others or the universe, okay? And you get to decide something new and something different. Because that's how you heal it, is you can't sidestep it, because the universe is going to keep giving it to us, and we're going to keep attracting the same thing over and over again until we're ready. Hey, June, across the pond. So, Miss London's in the house, Liberia's in the house. That's awesome. So, what happens is, when we attract someone to us, okay, we have a choice to either go ahead and say, look, I know this is my pattern and I'm attracting this for a reason, and I choose to heal it this time, and I'm going to look at it, okay, because I'm the common denominator. And that's the fear of intimacy sometimes, is we're afraid for people to see who we really are, because maybe we don't even know who we really are, okay? Hi, Daryl. Daryl's there too. That's awesome. California. So, hey, Jonathan. So the thing is, when we have a relationship with someone, it really does stir up. I mean, I've said this all along. Listen, if you want to grow, get into a relationship or have a baby, right? Because what that does is it brings up so much love that love is healing it. Love is able to heal it, but you have to allow it. So we have all these different selves. We have our open self, which is what we know and what other people know. We have our hidden self, which is what we know but other people don't know. Those are our secrets. We have our unknown self, which is, I don't know what I'm thinking, and neither do they. Okay? And there are all these different selves that we have that happen in a relationship. Hey, Jonathan, hey. So here's the thing. My suggestion is this. If you want to really, really work on relationships, okay, which is what we're looking at in this module now for the Conscious Leadership Academy, we're in relationships big time right now, is look at, okay, if I choose to be intimate, what strings are attached? So many of us don't want to be intimate with each other because we've learned from the past that if I open myself up, I'm going to get hurt. Or there's strings attached. I'm going to have to give something back to somebody if I let them in. What do I have to do for that? Okay? So just notice this weekend. I want you to notice your relationships, and I want you to notice every time you feel like perhaps you're keeping a secret from that person, okay? Or that you're not willing to allow yourself to be seen or allowing yourself to be heard. I want you to notice that and just really allow yourself to step one step closer to being intimate. Oh, Daryl says, myself has gotten to emerge like never before through Alexandra. Okay, Daryl, I get it, honey. And so that's true, right? The more we're intimate and the more we surrender, the more we can allow our love to come in, because it's really tough to allow love in our life if we're blocking it because we're afraid of it, okay? Or we're wanting to we're trying to avoid anything from the past happening. So again, I want you to notice this weekend, anytime that you feel like you are closed or open, am I allowing love in or am I closing it off? Am I willing to be vulnerable, or am I willing to have someone into me see? Okay. Am I willing to, am I just keeping secrets? Am I willing to move through the fear of this intimacy and realize that we want to be close, but we also want to be separate at the same time? And what I mean by that is there's a part of us that wants to individuate, wants to be individuals, and wants to know that we have our own connection, our own power. And at the same time, we're pack animals and we yearn for connection. Okay? So it's an interesting kind of a paradox. Like I said, we want to avoid the past. We want to avoid relationships that look like the past, and we also attract exactly the same ones. And before you kick that one out, before you kick that relationship out, okay, you might want to look at it and say, what is it in me that's drawing that kind of behavior? What is it in me that's allowing this to happen? So that you can choose differently. And believe me, when you start shifting your thoughts and your beliefs and your actions, then everything around you starts shifting, okay? So let's pull a card for this weekend. So that's my challenge to you, is just kind of notice if you're open or closed during your relationships and intimacy this weekend. Because again, I'm going to be doing my power hour on the essence of intimacy in April. So look at essenceofbeing.com and look at the power hour schedule. I think it's the 17th of April. April 20th is our essence of relationships one day, which is going to be powerful. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I pulled fear. All right. Why did I pull that? Fear is false evidence appearing real. Did I pull this for you? You out there? Are you having fear coming up around feeling intimate? Are you having fear come up around anything? Okay. So again, false evidence appearing real, or forgetting everything is all right. Or I can say some other acronyms, but I'm not going to. But let me read what it says. The Course in Miracles, okay, teaches that there are two great forces in the world, love and fear. And they cannot exist in the same place. So we gather evidence all of our lives and start believing what is not true, until we change our interpretation of the evidence, okay? We will keep believing lies. So love holds the power of truth. Fear is an illusion. But it feels real, sure smells real, looks real. Have you ever done anything that you were afraid to do? And you did it anyway? And then you did it and you went, oh, well, that wasn't so bad. I did it. So you got new evidence that it's not as fearful as you thought. Okay? So it's just like when a little kid says, Mommy, Mommy, there's a monster under my bed. Is there a monster under her bed or his bed? No. But to that child, is it real? Absolutely. Absolutely real. So what did Mommy and Daddy do? They come in and they said, no, honey, look. They look underneath the bed. They give them new evidence. There's no monster here. Hey, Karen. And you look under the bed and there's no monster, so the child gets new evidence, okay? So that it's not real. It was an illusion. Sure smelled real, sure looked real, sure feels real. So if we could look at all the evidence we've gathered in our lives about relationships and say, you know, I have a fear of intimacy, or I have a fear of letting go. I have a fear of letting go of the control that it takes sometimes. I have a fear of surrendering. I have a fear of allowing because I get hurt. All those fears seem real, okay? So in a relationship, my suggestion is to find new evidence, okay? Find new evidence that all of those fears they're an illusion. And join us in our Conscious Leadership Academy and join us in the Essence of Relationships, and you'll get to see. Hi, Annabelle. You'll get to see, okay, what are my beliefs around relationships? What are my fears that I have? So fear is false evidence appearing real. So my challenge to you, if you were on earlier, you know what it is. I'll say it again and go back and look at the video, okay? Just shot a huge video for about sex and intimacy for our relationship module. So if you're interested in more information about all of this, go to essenceofbeing.com/CLA, which is Conscious Leadership Academy, and try out some of our freebies, okay? And come to the Essence of Relationships and find out what your beliefs are around beliefs about yourself, self-love, love for others, allowing the intimacy, and your relationship with Great Spirit, okay? Allowing more of that to flow through you. It's that life force. To me, I'll leave you with this thought, that sex and intimacy is innocent, and sex is energy, and it's life force, okay? And that life force that we have, a lot of us have been afraid of it. We're afraid because it's hurt us in the past, we think, okay? Or we have different types of evidence. Hi, Julie. So it's really real, everybody. I want you to go out, and your challenge this weekend is just notice when you're closed and when you're open, when you're allowing someone to see who you are and when you're not, okay? And just if you have a fear of showing up who you are in the world, and you have a fear that you're going to get hurt, okay, then that's exactly what you attract, right? So let go of that fear in that you say, I choose to find new evidence. Okay? All you have to say is, I choose to find new evidence that I'm innocent, that my strength lies in my vulnerability, and that intimacy is safe. So safety is innocence, is empathy, is really all there is, okay? So I'm glad you could be on this Bubble Talk with Burge with me now. Hi, Nikki from Italy. Well, gosh, we've got Italy, and we've got Liberia, and we've got England, and all over the U.S., and I'm not sure. I choose to find new evidence, Julie says. That's awesome. So go back and watch this Bubble Talk so that you can see what your challenge is for this weekend about fear. Okay, and hello, Nikki says hello. So all of you out there, thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this Conscious Leadership Academy. Thank you for being part of our global movement of conscious leaders empowering others, okay, to create a win-win world. And in order to do that, we have to allow ourselves to be free, open, vulnerable, intimate. And I'll see you next time. Thank you, Paul. I choose to find new evidence. That's awesome. Love you. You've been Burged.